A bunch of news updates for you guys. We have the first governance action on chain ready for everyone to start voting on. And we also have the roadmap that the IOG team have put out in a blog post that talks about everything that they're going to be building in 2025 and beyond. All that and a whole bunch more news updates coming right up. Hey everyone, I'm Peter Bury. If it's first time here, you know the drill. Hit that thumbs up. Works wonders for that YouTube algorithm and really helps me get the message out there about what's actually happening in the Cardano ecosystem. But let's have a look at some of these news updates here. This very first one is from Frederick Gregard, the CEO of the Cardano Foundation. And this is looking into what he's up to at the moment. And the very first one is discussing with local and global exchanges in the UAE, talking about Cardano native assets and Cardano in general. So hopefully from these conversations with these exchanges, we may see some more activity in listing some Cardano native assets. And that would be really exciting. Be really good to see some of our stablecoin assets start to list on there, because it will give the exchanges more exposure, give the Cardano ecosystem more exposure, and it'll give users more utility for these stablecoins as well. Be able to exit off through some of these exchanges is really key. Now, the other thing he does mention here is his talk last week with Circle, and this was at the World Economic Forum, the WEF. And it sounds like here from this this comment, they were transparent about their perspective on strategic fit or lack of it with Cardano. So that doesn't sound too positive at the moment with Circle integration. I know a lot of people out there were really wanting this integration with Circle. Even if we did have USDC directly integrated into the Cardano ecosystem, will it make a big difference? I really don't know. We didn't see much of a difference when it happened in Algorand, so I don't know if we have much of an impact integrating on the Cardano ecosystem. But it's really nice to see the transparency there, and the conversations around it are still going and are still happening. But hopefully we do see some activity around this, or at least some more activity around, more importantly, the Cardano native assets being listed on various big exchanges around the world. So that's some positive news that we can take away from this particular post. In other news, this was quite interesting, and I stay completely out of the meme coin space. I don't pay attention to it at all. But this was quite interesting. So apparently Charles got sent 80 million worth of the Charles token, which is a meme coin that someone created, and he burnt the whole lot of it. So that sent the price of the token all over the place. And some people, I guess, made some money out of this, and some people lost a lot out of it in the same process. So it's interesting to see what's going on here. I'll put links down below if you want to see this happen. But it's all on chain as well, so you can see the transactions and see how it all works. So from what I gathered, he worked with one of the founders of Akin, Lucas, to write a smart contract for this burning mechanism. So he put it to the test and burnt all of those Charles tokens. So if you want to look into that smart contract, I will try and find it, put links down below so you can play around with those burning mechanisms as well. Now, one of the wallets that I've started playing around with a lot more in the Cardano space is Lace, and I'm really liking a lot of their improvements. Ever since they essentially forced users to migrate from Nami wallet to Lace, I've been playing around with it more because I am an avid Nami user, but now I've been playing around with Lace more, and they've added in this brand new feature of the DApp Explorer. I remember back at Rare Evo or Rare Bloom as it was back then, I think it was in 2021, the Lace team demoed the DApp Explorer at their booth. And I was pretty excited to see that come into play and help showcase and highlight all of these various dApps that are building in the Cardano space. And this is what we are getting at the moment. So this is all of the various games, the DeFi collectibles, and everything else that is in the Cardano space. So anyone that is setting up their Lace wallet for the first time, coming into the Cardano space, and then I was starting to wonder where to now. How do I buy an NFT, or where do I go to swap something? This is their gateway into the space. They can have a look at where to exchange tokens, buy new meme coin, whatever it might be, and explore all of these dApps. And these have all been curated, and they know that these are the correct links and reputable resources. So this is really good to see. This is a great onboarding tool. I know a lot of the other wallets in the Cardano space do have their DApp Explorers as well. So it's really good to see that the Lace team have also followed suit and finally put this DApp Explorer into their wallet as well. This next news update is from Atrium, and they're going through a voting process at the moment to shortlist and finalize all of the stake pools that will be a part of their Diffusion baskets. Now, you may be wondering what this is, and if you haven't been keeping up, Atrium have been working on a way for decentralizing the staking methods within the Cardano space. So you may be wanting to delegate your ADA to multiple different stake pools within the ecosystem so that you'll get a better average return and also help decentralize the Cardano ecosystem in general. So this will work by staking your ADA to a smart contract, and then all of that ADA be spread across the various different pools in a way that would help optimize your rewards, but then also help decentralize and spread that ADA across all these pools. So they're shortlisting their final 50 stake pools. I think it's 50. And they're going through a voting process here. So each one of these proposals has a list of stake pools. And I believe the top 5 from each one of these lists will be captured and then added to the Diffusion basket for delegating to. So if you have a look here, if you click on vote, you can see all the details about the voting process if you want to vote for multiple pools, and then the list and stake pool tickers of all the pools that are part of the process here. So you can click on one of those, connect your wallet, and then vote for that process. If you're wanting to vote for multiple different pools, follow the instructions here, but you will need to add a comment within the comment box here to be able to vote for multiple different pools. So it's a strange way of doing it. I thought you should. Ideally for me, I would have liked to see being able to click on multiple different pools and then just click vote, but I guess it's the mechanism that they came up with, and it's a little bit different to what I was expecting myself. But the end result here is that we'll have better rewards for stakers within the smart contract and more ADA distributed to all these different stake pools out there. Now, my pool isn't a part of this. I didn't think my stake pool needed this at all. My stake pool's around the 57 million delegation at the moment, so this is for the smaller pools out there. I didn't want to step into this and attract delegation away from you guys. So for anyone that is within this staking method, or if you're one of the pools, part of the staking method, good luck to you. Hopefully you make it through to the shortlist. Now, this news update here I thought was really special, and this is the very first governance action to be put on chain so that DReps and anyone else that's interested can vote on. And this is the Cardano Constitution replacing the interim constitution. So over the last about 6 months or so, September, October, November, December, January, about 5 months, we've had an interim constitution that governed the way that governance will work on the Cardano space. Now we have the final Cardano Constitution, and if you want to find out more about that, you can go to the Intersect MBO website. I'll put links down below, but you can read more about the Constitution, why it's there, what it all means, and then of course the links to the GitHub repo where the Constitution lives at the moment. This is the final document at the moment, and you can read the extremely long document here that governs the way that the Cardano ecosystem will work in this governance era. So it's a really big effort by the Cardano community. Hundreds of people have worked on this and contributed to it over the last year, and we are now putting this in place on chain. I will be voting yes for this after this particular recording, but if you are interested and wanting to vote for yourself, you can log into the GovTools website, connect with your wallet, and under here on the dashboard, you'll be able to become a direct voter or delegate to a DRep if you want to. So there's various DReps out there that can do the voting on your behalf, but you can here register as a direct voter, go through the process, follow the prompts, sign the transaction, and you become a direct voter so that you can eventually then vote on this particular proposal and be a part of the future of the Cardano ecosystem. So here you'll see a vote button down below, and you'll be able to cast your votes, yes, no, abstain, depending on how you lean, and a vote for the Cardano Constitution to replace the interim constitution. So all the links and references there, I will put them down below for you guys. So what's next for the Cardano ecosystem? Now, this was an interesting blog post that Input Output had put out, and this talks about their roadmap and what they're planning to build, what they're focusing on over the next 5 years. So they're looking at a 5-year plan here. So of course, obviously this will change but there's a lot of really cool highlights here. And some of them we know about, some of them they've been working on for ages, but some of them are really cool. And I'll point these out in a second. Layer 2 Hydra, of course, a lot of people know about this with the whole Doom game that released last year. Running on Hydra, we've seen how fast and how many transactions per second that can utilize. And it was absolutely amazing. If you haven't seen that, do check out my videos around Doom Hydra and the amount of transactions that went through it. But then we also have the Layer 2 rollups that are going out there, the Ouroboros, Laos, and Paris, which will allow the Cardano blockchain to have parallel block creation. So I really can't wait for that one to happen. I believe the development on this is actually quite fast at the moment, and we may see this in 2025. We also have Mithril certificates. I do all of my stake pools with Mithril at the moment. It is a big improvement in terms of syncing all that data. And then we have this one here, which I thought was really interesting. And this is the data API services. So one of the things that IOG had purchased last year was Blockfrost. And Blockfrost is an API service that allows dApps to query and get data on chain and makes it really easy for wallet providers, for example, or tools such as Cardano Press to talk to the Cardano blockchain. And this here, they are looking at an approach that will decentralize that platform and that network. I'm assuming it's Blockfrost because they did buy it for a reason. So this will enable stake pool operators and desktop clients to serve as distributed data providers. And I'm assuming there will be an incentive there, because if you're asking stake pool providers and desktop clients to provide that data and become distributed nodes, there would be some sort of incentive. Maybe there's a little bit of ADA rewards for doing so. So I really hope there is, and I will be keeping an eye on this one because I've put out a lot of video tutorials about how to set up your home nodes, how to do our own relay, and having that knowledge now and being prepared for this type of data service providers, decentralized data service providers, is really good because it's an opportunity for anyone out there to earn some extra revenue, especially for the stake pool operators out there. So if you're interested in something like this, do check out those tutorials because I think it will be in your best interest to be prepared for when something like this comes out. The other really cool improvement here is the local node service and dataless. So it looks like dataless is going to be replaced and be replaced with something a lot faster and have a lot better user experience. I know I've put out a lot of videos about dataless lately, a full tutorial suite on how to use that particular product, and people hate it because of the syncing issues, the amount of time it takes to sync. I think it took me about 2.5 weeks to sync it, get through my syncing issues and all sorts of things to get that wallet up to date so I could actually do the tutorials. And after that, I just deleted the thing because I don't think I'll ever use it again. It was painful to update and maintain. So I don't think I'll use dataless again, but video tutorials are out there. So do check them out if you are an avid dataless user. But yeah, replacing this, I think will be really good. We're offering a lightweight full node experience for users who want direct, trustless access to the Cardano blockchain. So if you didn't realize, all the wallets out there, they use services such as Blockfrost or their own data API services that they may have created to talk to the blockchain. So that relies on hardware, on infrastructure. And if that fails, your wallet will fail. Using something like dataless negates all that. That allows you to connect directly to the Cardano blockchain, bypasses all that infrastructure. So if all of that crashes one day, you'll still be able to transact. You'll be the first ones out there selling your ADA or buying ADA during the dip or whatever it might be, because you have direct access to the Cardano blockchain. So that is quite beneficial. So hopefully we do see this one soon, because I do believe a lot of people want to see that. The other improvements here, we've got a Catalyst voting platform. So a new one replacing the idea scale, which is not very nice platform to work with. And of course, we also have core node improvements, and that's what operates all of the stake pools out there. So lots of scaling improvements in general. We also have a bunch of usability and utility improvements, which I'm quite excited about. The improvements here of enabling identity with Hyperledger Identis. So that's the identity solution, formerly Atala Prism. So we've got a lot of work on that, and that's going to be combined with Lace Wallet. So they've putting all these products together and creating a better user experience, a cohesive user experience, all from one area, and having your identity combined in with a wallet that you use on a regular basis, I think is really key. So that's a really good move. Of course, we have improvements and release of Midnight, hopefully this year, and then Babel fees as well. And Babel fees is another thing that stateful operators will be able to tap into as a revenue source as well. So hopefully we do see that very soon. And of course, we also have the interoperability and everything else around that. We have lots of work here on this particular level of interoperability with the partner chains, and of course, the integration and work with Cardano's smart contract layer for Bitcoin. So we will see that very early in 2025. So January is pretty much over at the moment. So hopefully we do see Bitcoin OS launch in this first quarter of this year. So I've heard they're very close. They're on the marketing trail again, pumping things up. So I think things are very close at the moment, but we shall see where all of that is. Anyway, that's all I have for this particular update. I'm pretty excited for this year, 2025, for the Cardano ecosystem, Bitcoin, and everything else around it. We are looking forward to a really cool bull run this year, I think. And with Cardano in its position as it is right now, I think Cardano is set for a really good 2025. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.